Aim and alignment in golf is maybe what everybody struggles with. Wouldn't you agree, Patrick?
Probably causes more problems than just about anything too.
Yep, and there's a reason for it, and it's called parallax error. You have to learn where your target line is when you aim. And what we're going to show you in this video is why I think the majority of players swing outside in or over the top, because where their target actually is and what their eyes see from a perspective beside the target line, it doesn't show up correctly. I've shown this to a lot of my students over the years, and the majority of them think I'm crazy. You might think I'm crazy too, but I'm not. This is real, and it's really what causes most mistakes in golf, in my opinion. And if you can understand the correct way to line up and set up and the correct way to practice, it'll really improve your golf swing.
Especially if you're someone who struggles with a slice. You've been a lifelong out to in player, which is probably 90% of golfers you'll see on the range or out on a recreational course. This could be one of the big contributors that maybe you know, if you work with a coach, you get a good swing path and you're out in the course and all of a sudden you're slicing it. This could be a big reason why.
It's probably the #1 reason why, if you ask me. And so I think you'll enjoy this video. We've taken our time to really try to get set up correctly. Our main camera is right on our target line with these 2 PVC pipes in front of us and a blue flag. And then parallel to that left, since Patrick's right-handed, is another stick. And we've set up a camera on that line where his eyes are, so you can see the difference in perspective. And the farther you get to the left of your target line with your stance, the farther to the right those posts appear that are on our target line. Because, Patrick, correct me if I'm wrong, this first post to you does not look like it's lined up with the blue flag. Is that correct?
Exactly. If I'm to stand on this target line and look down this line, all of these posts are exactly in line.
Line, yes.
But if I come take my player position here, like I'm going to hit a drive, and I look, each of the posts look to the right, and as they get closer to me, they look more and more to the right. So if your position that you're trying to line yourself up with is close to you, it feels like you're aiming way to the right, but you're not.
But you're not. And so what happens to every player as Patrick sits in there, tell me, I'm gonna hold my driver head to the left of this post. Where does the blue flag look like to you?
So right now your driver head and the post are almost perfectly aligned. With the blue flag and your driver look like they're directly aligned for me.
But they're not. See, they're almost 3 feet to the left of what your really target line is.
Absolutely.
And so here's what's so important, folks. And that's why I don't think I can stress it enough. Go ahead and set up there, and even with the camera here. So where he thinks the target is, he has to swing across this way to get his ball to start on that line. Mm-hmm. And that's why he comes over the top, or that's why you do. Mm-hmm. And so you really have to understand this perspective. If there was the best way to practice it, it would be actually if you could do this on your own driving range. But you can do it with alignment sticks. You can set up here, and I can put a little skinny alignment stick right where this first post is, and I can learn to make my swing such that my ball starts over the stick. Understand?
Absolutely.
And I can't stress how important it is. A lot of this game is perspective and vision. Putting's the same way. You have to understand how your eyes, it's an optical illusion of where your target line actually is. And if you'll understand that and you'll make the adjustments, I promise you it'll help you. I know there's some people who say, well, you know, I stand behind it and I pick out an intermediate target and I never look at the flag. And that might help. I would grant that, but I would almost tell you in your mind's eye, you know, even if you're doing that, you know where the flag is and where you're trying to aim. and it's still going to screw you up. So learn to adapt to this. The more you practice this way, eventually that will look like it almost lines up the more you do it. And but if you'll practice this way, it will really, really help you, especially if you're over the top and outside in with your club
Well,
path.
we've seen that with my own swing. We did the same concept several months ago, and I sure enough was aiming far to the left. And one of the things that I've been working on with my own game is visualizing almost like that post is 3 feet to the right instead of where it is.
Exactly.
And that really has helped. We've seen on TrackMan,
Right.
my
Your
paths
are
positive,
now.
which they were like -5 to -10 before.
-10,
so
yeah.
really left.
I give you the benefit of the doubt on -5, but yes, but now it's positive. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And your smash factors have gone way up.
Absolutely.
And your club speed's going up too. So you've done a lot of great things with driver in the last year.
Most importantly, maybe, is I rarely slice anymore. It happens once in a while, but
hook.
I do, yeah. And so I think this is a big part of it.
I do too. Now, for more advanced players that are trying to learn how to hit draws and hit fades on purpose, one of the ways you can do it is with this same setup. If you want to hit a fade, you could aim a little left with your feet and open your stance a little. And then as you swing, you would try to hit it to the left of these poles and let it fade back to the target. And then if you wanted to hit draws, you could point your feet a little more to the right, and then you can envision that with your path and with your club head that you're starting the ball right of these sticks, and that should help promote a draw. So this is a really good way to work on hitting different shots, and you can do it with irons and driver. And it's also a good way to really, if you're a lifelong pull slicer, if you can set up like this and really work it with your path of the club, starting the ball to the right of this target line, I think you'll find that you'll start to hit shots that'll curve for a right-hander right to left. And of course, for you lefties out there, it's just the opposite. If I was standing on this side, those look like they're way to the left now. Absolutely. And so it's the exact same thing, and it's called parallax error. You can Google that. Pilots fight it all the time in landing airplanes. That's why there's 3 stripes on a runway instead of just one. They say they'd crash if they only put 1 stripe. They'd miss the runway. And they put 3 lines on a runway, and it's why the Callaway golf ball has 3 lines on the ball. Absolutely, yeah. And so an optometrist designed that, understanding parallax error, so it's the same thing. And so I can't stress enough this concept, and to understand that the reason you're coming over the top of it and you can't fix it is because of parallax error.
And one other thing to mention I think is really important is it gets worse the further you are from the ball. So with me with the driver right here, it's really exaggerated. If I was to come up here, and I can show this by moving the camera a little bit.
If he was hitting a sand wedge,
maybe I'm about this far. Well, now it's not nearly as offset. It looks much closer to being in line. And if you're really on top of it for maybe a chip, or you're really not going to see much at all.
That's correct. And so, yeah, that's a great point. And so driver's the worst. And all you guys, that's probably the worst club in your bag as far as having a minus club path or an over-the-top swing. And your brain is fighting that. Your brain thinks the target is much more to the left, so it's going to keep swinging left as hard as you try not to. Absolutely. And so try this out. Set up a similar station like this in your backyard or at your driving range, and see for yourself how profound this concept is, and how if you'll understand how it's influencing your club path and your golf swing, it'll do wonders for improving you, and at any level. And you know, from beginners on up. But for you guys that watch my channel that are club pros around the country, or really top level amateur players, high school kids, college kids, you need to practice like this with the same setup and learn to start your ball on the correct line, on your correct target line. And it's not the one that you imagine. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
All right. Hey guys, I know all of you are trying to get better, but the way you're practicing probably just isn't productive at all. We've put together a practice guide on video and in PDF form that you can download, and I promise you, if you'll follow these instructions, you'll get a lot better. It's exactly what I would show you if you were one of my private students in person, and I think you'll love it. And this is totally free. You can download it in the description.